Mumbai
Mumbai
ground, Victor Tango Sierra Juliet Lima on 121 decimal liner, pre-flight radio check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Sierra Juliet Lima, Mumbai ground, read you 5. How do you read?
Read you 5, strength 5, Victor Tango Sierra Juliet Lima.
Roger, Mumbai ground.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor, stand 2 on 121 decimal liner, pre-flight radio check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read?
Station calling Mumbai ground. Say again all. Read you 2.
Mumbai correction. I say again. Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor, stand 2 on 121 decimal liner, pre-flight radio check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor, Mumbai ground, read you 5. Primary 88908, secondary 704564.
Say again, primary.
Okay, so far so good, but you didn't end with your call sign, your last reply. So Vignesh, come on. You have been waiting to give a live call since a long time. You cannot make such mistakes. It's a basic error. You have to be conscious. Ending with the call sign is very important.
Yeah.
Very good. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the class. Everyone, why were you waiting when you joined? Why were you not doing a readability check? Why only 2 students are doing readability check? Have we forgotten? Never mind. Let's do it. Very good morning, everyone. We have Rishi, we have Shubhankar, we have Sajal, we have Gulshan, we have Vignesh, Nitin, Vishnu, we have Ashwini, Jyotsna, Sahana, Suchita, and Piyush. And Rishi, are you joining from 2 accounts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Very good. Okay, so we have Piyush and Ashwini, and I think Gulshan has attended. So Piyush and Ashwini, I think this is your first live class.
Yes, sir.
Very good.
Yeah.
Welcome to the class. And Nitin, how about you? Have you attended live lectures before?
No, sir.
Right. So Nitin is also joining us for the first time. So Nitin, Ashwini, and Piyush, please assign a call sign to yourselves. And Rishi, ensure that you assign the same call sign on both. Okay, fine. Good. So what do you mean by call sign? So we have aircraft registration and aircraft nationality marks Okay, like this. It's just like your vehicle registration number. So the aircraft nationality mark is common for all aircrafts registered in India. So if you want to purchase an aircraft and you want to register the aircraft to India, okay, that this aircraft is certified to fly in the country of India. This is a property, or this is registered under the Civil Aviation Authority of India, that is DGCA. Then this is the international nationality mark given to the Indian aircrafts. If you would have noticed, if you are in Himachal, all the vehicles in Himachal have UK and followed by any 4 letters or 4 numbers. I mean, what is this UK? This is a state mark for vehicles. So just like how India has 26, 27 states or 25, 28, I don't know, the latest, many states are breaking up or joining in, but approximately we know 26, 27 plus the union territories. So all these states will have a different number. Similarly, in aviation, the countries are states for ICAO. That's why VT stands for India. So all your aircrafts will have VT. So Ashwini, Piyush, Nitin, your first 2 letters would be VT, denoting you are an Indian registered aircraft. The next 3 are registration markings, which are entered in the certificate of aircraft registers. Okay. Partially it is owned by central government, and partially it's owned by DGCA. So you should read up a little bit of regulations on this and see who determines what. Although this is a part of a doubt. So let's see how many students have come across with the correct answers. Whoever has figured out the answer, it was a homework. Please write down the answers. Okay, one second. In the chat box. All right. So Ashwini, take any 3 letters resembling your name, okay, like this or something that is of your choice, and assign that as a call sign to you. Victor Tango Alpha Bravo Charlie is unavailable, unfortunately. So everybody needs to have a unique code. So Piyush, you can take this also, or anything else, up to you. And Nitin, up to you, whatever you want. All these are available, or you can choose any combination of your 3 letters. Quickly rename yourself. Quickly rename yourself, and from now on this would be your call sign or identity. And students, in the exams you could get a similar call sign, or you could get an airline call sign, apparently like this. What is this? 6E710. 6E stands for I fly. I fly is with Indigo. And 710, I fly 710 will become your airline call sign if you're flying for an airline as a commercial pilot, something that is your goal that you have set, because of which today you are sitting here working towards that goal in one step. Sometimes RT, sometimes ground papers, sometimes flight training, sometimes medicals, you know how it is. So Piyush, please rename yourself on the Zoom app. And Nitin, please rename yourself on the Zoom app. Okay, NIT Nitin. And
1 minute.
yeah, sure. Instead of 1 minute, please get habituated using these words. Standby. The meaning of standby is wait and I will call you. And whenever you're giving me a reply, make it a habit of ending it with your call sign. Everyone, beginners, experienced students, freshers, seniors, doesn't matter. The rules are same for everyone. Okay, students, quickly do a readability check. Okay, I need to know if you can hear me well. I need to know if I can hear you well. Students who can keep the videos on, I encourage, please do it. Students who have privacy issues, it's okay if you don't do it, but you have to acknowledge, you have to be interactive in the class. This session, okay, this what we are starting from today, okay, it's going to be rigorous, and it's going to be result oriented, of course. For that, you'll all have to be on your toes. What I have seen is that students, they simply say yes and they nod their head, yes, nod their head, everything's fine, everything is fine. Towards the end of exams, I realize that they're not prepared thoroughly. And then that prevents them from clearing the first attempt, of course, because we don't get enough time overall in the end to work out your mistakes or problems. Now, there are some students who will ensure that they are aware whether they are prepared or not by discussing it with me or their sirs or instructors, right? Right now, that is me. There are some students who think they know, they will not discuss. Even when I'm discussing, they'll say yes, yes, yes. And then there are some students who will say, no, sir, I don't think so. I need to practice more and more and more. So the third type of student is what I'm seeking for over here. Even though you are perfect, discuss that with me and let me know and show it to me. If you don't do that, and if you don't clear, you can blame me all that you want. Okay, I'll take the blame also. Is it going to help you get the RT? It's not going to get you help you get the RT. So what's the point? The whole intent of saying this is that some students are over smart. Some students, they think they have paid money and they want everything. There's no guarantee of clearing if you don't work hard and do as you're told. 1 month is not enough time, but we can do it. I know the strategy, but if you don't work hard and follow the instructions, you cannot do it. You won't be able to do it. Then you cannot blame. It's not something that I can make a cake and give you and you can win the competition. It's not like that. It's not a bakery contest. It's not like I can make a small aero model and give it to you and then you can show it in the competition or exam and win. I wish it was that way. I could have given you all my calls. Of course, lectures are important. More important than lectures for RT is self-study. The moment you have been given a task or a lecture, you should restudy and redo the lecture twice at least, and once before the exam. 3 times revision, scientifically proven, can get you 100% marks. How is the 3 time? I'll show you one example. Okay, let's say you do it on 1st Jan lecture. Okay, 1st Jan lecture. This is a one-time technique I'm giving you all how to study. Afterwards, I don't think so we'll have much time for pravachan and all, how to study, what to study. All right. Still, I'll try to give those ideas to you. Take it and use it. It's designed in such a way that it will help you in the next 20 days or 30 days. If you don't want, it's up to you. But then do not play the blame game here and there. I'm saying this right away. Many people have lost their respects, and the way they are talking, I just feel like cutting them off for the rest of their lives and not be there to help them, because they insult someone who's trying to do an honest work. But then I'm like, okay, these are children and they're bound to make mistakes. We cannot give up. Just like parents, I cannot give up on y'all. But I can't even keep taking all the dirty things that you send across me, right? Why do you get into all this? I don't know. Maybe because you're stressed, your family pressure, maybe your friends, your circle, your colleagues, your peers, your personal problems. I don't know what, because you all don't talk to me. But in the end, all the frustration will come one point here. It could happen with multiple conversations along your day. I don't know. I want you all to establish one understanding right here. No matter what, you have to be calm, check where you are, and work hard. If you think only with me studying will you clear the exams, that's a wrong intent. A student has to take training and the student has to have self-study, revision, exams to prove whether he or him or she or her have proved the competency, whether they know what they are expected to know. So it's all about the knowledge. And I am giving you the knowledge in class. Then why are you still unable to clear? So the mistake will be yours in the end. Even if you blame everyone else, the truth will be there only that some or the other way we were unable to give the best. Is it because of the lectures? If yes, then you should say it right away after the lecture. You have been given the liberty that after the lecture, you have to send notes. Hardly 1 or 2 people send notes. After the lecture, you have to send doubts. Hardly 2 to 3 people send doubts. After the lecture, you have to send a feedback, good and negative. Nobody does that. In the end, if something goes wrong, you'll start fighting. So give me this, give me that. I don't want this, don't want that. What? We have given you everything. If you follow the proper protocol, you will clear. Look at our results. Every session, 2 to 3 students clear. Even if I have 1 student in a batch, he or she will clear. Why do you think I will do the scholarship thing and ask you to attend those lectures and all students? So that I want to know if I have good and decent students. I don't want those angry birds who don't have proper knowledge, who will be influenced by anyone and anyone. we will not entertain people like this in aviation in the long run. Right now, I'm no one to judge you because it's my job to train you and prepare you so that you will be accepted in the future by the industry. But still, some people are like, okay, sir, paisa diya hai, aap meko exam clear kara do. If you are thinking that I have some jack, you're wrong. Okay? The only jack that I have is my personal knowledge, my hard work, my consistent hard work, and perfect planning. That is my asset. And that has to be your asset, along with all the other contacts that you will make. You are a student, learn and express your concerns in a very good way. That is how all the biggest problems in the world are solved. If you don't think you're going to be a part of the world, then aviation is one such industry that has brought all the big, huge world and made it into one small complex. All right? A complex I'm calling about, residential complex. Aviation has made the world small, and you are going to be the leaders into making it much more smaller and smaller and smaller. I don't know what gets into your head these days. I don't know who you're sitting with or what you're reading or watching or eating. But if you're thinking that looking at established pilots and their reels and their videos and that it's going to help you become something, then it's not going to help you become something. It's only going to make you envious in the long run that he or she has so much and I have nothing. When you're training, I suggest out of 24 hours, apart from the 8 hours sleep, which nobody gives these days, if you take it out, and apart from those 4 hours that you give yourself for this and that, food, eat, refreshing and all, 12 hours are gone. You have 12 hours to make something out of your career. Out of those 12 hours, if you don't give 8 hours to your career training, the 4 hours, of course, reserved for relaxation, break and all, laughter, fun. If you don't give those 8 hours on a daily basis towards your exam of RT, because this is a short-term goal, let's say for ground papers in the future, flight training in the future, if you don't go give those 8 hours right now, then you're not doing something right. Now, students who are questioning me again and again, tell me, are you giving 8 hours every day? You're not. So you're dreaming something else. You have a fake belief in yourself because you are a nice person. You think I can do it, but you have not given the training hours. You have not given the focus. You have not worked hard. How do you think your desire and your reality will match? That is something called as self-denial. All these things nobody will tell you right now, but you will learn this by the time you reach 30, 35, maybe 27, 28. And then you'll be like, oh, only if I had this education, knowledge beforehand, I would have saved 5-6 years of my life and would have settled in my life sooner. But no, students don't want all this. Students just want to clear paper. Then go to the exam center. There'll be many people charging you. I don't know. God knows. Many people say this, sir, he was asking this much money. He'll guarantee clear. Go for it. You're smart enough to decide what's good for yourself. Even after giving all this gyan and education and instructions, only a few students are following it. And they are making the most of it. And I'm very happy that the strategies work. These few students become majority. I'm very happy about that. My only goal is that I want 100%. All my students, I want them to be 100% alike. So if I think Sajal has a problem, if I think Vishnu has a problem, or if I think Ashwini has a problem, I won't give up. I'll try, but you cannot rush. If you don't have the capacity to clear something in 1 month, it won't happen, but we can still try. But if you don't clear, you cannot call me a liar for being positive and having trust in you. You cannot say that I have given you a false promise. Because when nobody believed in you, I was believing in you. It wasn't a lie, because I have helped students clear in 10 days RT in their first attempt. 10 days also. But do you think that student was attending just two hours lectures with me? No, 6 hours, 5 hours, 7 hours, depending upon how much it takes. Sometimes some students cannot clear in 10 days. But they're like, sir, it was worth a try. I'll just clear in the next attempt. Now, what else to do? Of course, what else to do? We could have tried a little harder, but you gave your best. Now, giving your best, you will think you have given your best. Still, that won't matter. You should ask, sir, do you think I can improve a little more? Simple. But students these days, they're so egoistic. They'll never accept their mistakes. They would like to blame others. If that's the case, I don't know, still you'll clear, but this strategy is the best strategy for me at least. So if you're learning with me, follow this and you'll get everything that you need. And please ask questions, and after every lecture, sit for 10 minutes. The moment I end the lecture, you should not just shut the book and go elsewhere. What should you do? You should take a look at your notes for 5-10 minutes in the end, after I have ended the session. 5-10 minutes, take a look at the notes, think about everything and see whether you have understood or not. Here, I keep my heart here. Why? Because everything, hand here. Why? Because everything should get into your mind and you should say that, okay, I will remember this. I have to remember this. I've understood and I have to remember this. That is your biggest challenge. If you don't remember, only then you make mistakes. The next time I see students are attending the whole lecture and the whole batch and everything still not clearing, then I'm going to make the scholarship process very rigorous then. And I'm not just going to give you all the scholarship or whatever I give directly then. But I don't want to do that, you know. So in the end, what will happen? In the end, I'll have to cut down on whom I teach. I'll have to cut down on whom I share my videos with. And I'll have to cut down and go back to being the small family that I had, which gave me 100% results. Here I was thinking, because I'm getting students saying that, sir, I've already invested 1 lakh, 1.5 lakh, 2 lakhs in ground studies. I hardly have learned anything. I want training again. I don't have money. Please teach. This is what my target audience has become right now. So even if I want to teach them, they don't have anything to pay. And still, if I teach them, and if they don't respect, why would I end up doing it? What about my students who are giving me some money or every money to teach them? What about them? Should I not care about them? Do you think I don't care about them? And then I have students who pay me, and at the moment of paying me, they want to put the hand into my body and take everything out. So just because I paid you. What is that? You think magically you will pay and clear in 10 days, 15 days, 20 days? What? What is this? What kind of zone are you in? You have to understand, okay, this is something that when I say we, people like me, who are those people like me who have dreamt of flying and becoming a pilot since a long time? We value education and nothing else. We value knowledge and nothing else. And then we value performance. Okay. In order to become good on any level, you have to go through rigorous training and prove that you have scored above 90 in everything, which people like me have done. It would not have happened if we would have not focused what is happening in lectures. This is how our instructors have taught us. And this is what we are giving to the world. Okay. I'm not angry at anyone. I'm angry at myself. Because somewhere I think I have failed y'all in the long run. This is a testing week for everyone. Okay. A testing week. If you all follow instructions and do everything correctly in this week, then we will, of course, include everyone and help everyone continue. If this week I get any such behavior which is not in terms with instructions, you will be asked to wait out. And we'll decide about whether we want to train you or not and when, after we have a meeting. Until then, we will not allow you to sit in the class. Simple as that. When I say do readability checks, when I say in the initial first 5-10 minutes, I want everybody to do a basic readability check. Even if you don't know how to do it, at least say, hi, sir, good morning. How do you read me? Everybody knows this much. But still, who did it? Only Sajal and Vignesh, who have already attended lectures and they're just here for revision. So these two students remember. What about others? Understand my concern. This, if you don't follow my instruction and if you don't do it, then how will you follow other instruction and not do it? then I have to change my strategy to teach you. If I change my strategy to teach you, then I'll have to repeat everything twice. So the 2-hour lecture would go to 4-hour lecture. Do you think a 30-day time would be enough to finish that? No. Then how do you think I can give you what you want when you don't do what you're told? Now Piyush has not yet been able to, rename himself. Piyush, why are you facing any trouble? Are you unaware how to do it? Let me guide you how to do it. At least tell me how to do it if you don't know.
So I've changed it. I guess there's some issues.
No problem. What was it? PII?
Why USA?
Sorry, Papa, India, is it?
No, so it was PSG. So it was
PSD,
Papa
Papa
Sierra
Sierra Delta.
Golf.
Very good. I put it
So
now. No problem. Next time you try. If not,
it was
I'll assign.
PSGG Golf.
Wait, sorry. I say again, Papa
Sierra Golf.
Sierra Golf. Correct. Thank you so much. So these little things, you have to be on your toes and make sure your work is done in a timely manner. Now, I'm giving you one revision strategy. Just look at it carefully, everyone. 1st January lecture, let's say we have at 9 a.m. Okay, 1st January. Let's say we have a lecture at 1st January, lecture at 9 a.m. So your first revision, okay, 48 hours, 9 a.m., it would become 3rd Jan. Okay. Second revision, 2 weeks. So 3rd Jan would become what? 10 Jan, I think about 17 Jan or 18 Jan. 17, 18, let's take 14 days. Yeah, 17 Jan. Third revision. After 2 weeks, 17 Jan, 9 a.m. And the final revision, something that will help you never forget, okay, not just for exams, forever, would happen 1 month. That would become 3rd February, 9 a.m. Simple. If you can make a schedule, now, of course, sometimes your lecture timings would clash. Okay. Lecture 9 a.m., first revision. Okay. Then after this, second revision. Okay. And after this, third revision only. No 4 revision, only third revision. 3 revisions are enough. If you can strategically do this, now, of course, 9 a.m., sometimes you might have an overlapping lecture, so you could not revise, but at least the same day you could do the same revision. It's a simple thing, and students' revisions just take 10-15 minutes at times. The first time revision could be a little lengthy, but the next time revisions are very quick. So this is my one strategy. There's another one similar to this, but this is better because it wraps up everything in just 1 month. All right, I'm rubbing this. I hope you all have made it. So before we start with the day, of course, I don't want to start on a disciplinary note. Like, this is not how I am, but this is how I can be when the time needs to be. All right. But what I'm trying to say right now is that, students, a readability check is the first thing that we have to do as a pilot, as an aviator, as an ATC, before we initiate a conversation with any aeromobile station. What do you mean by aeromobile station? Aeromobile station means any place. It could be a ground station like an ATC office, or it could be an aircraft which has a radio station. It could be a Jeep called a follow me Jeep, a car basically used on the airport. Some of the cars are called follow me vehicles. They also have radio apparatus. So everything that will have a radio apparatus with a transmission and reception equipment using aviation frequencies. It could be an airplane, a vehicle, maybe a fire truck also, and then maybe everything else, ATCs and other dispatch offices, they all are called as aeromobile stations. Okay. Mostly aeromobile stations are those which are able to move. So aircrafts become aeromobile stations. Other stations would become aeronautical radio stations. So there are and many words: aeronautical telecommunications service unit, aeronautical telecommunications network, and on aeronautical fixed telecommunications network. Many terms recognizing the same thing. When I say aeromobile station, that aeromobile station would mean something that is mobile in the air. Mobile means to move. So that becomes an aircraft. Your aircraft is a radio station. It's a hub of a radio station, of course. So wherever you have a radio station equipment apparatus for you to communicate with someone else, the first thing that you learn to do is a readability check. Okay. So quickly, everyone go through this readability check. People who know this, great. People who don't know this, you will know it now. But people who know this, even they are not doing it in the first 5-10 minutes. This is what I'm not liking. Anyway, we are having a live lecture after what, 3-4 days. And this is what, I really don't like when students don't follow instructions, because if you don't follow instructions now, in the long run, you might not be able to clear your RT in the first attempt that you need to. I'm not saying only when you don't. Sometimes after watching attention also, on a bad day, you could make mistakes and not clear. That is understood. That is an honest mistake that will happen every time in your exams in aviation, every now and then. Sometimes you'll clear, sometimes you'll not. But your job in the end would be to ensure you clear everything else by not giving up. So readability check. Let's use a call sign. Let's say that, let's take Ashwini's case. Let's say the pilot is flying for Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel. Okay, we will light it on the left side. And let's say he is talking to Delhi ground. Okay, ground has a code SMC. Now, Delhi ground is 180C given one unique frequency. Delhi ground will help with movement on the surface of the aerodrome, like the parking bay, the taxiways. Okay. So the SMC stands for surface movement control. And the call sign, if I have to say call sign, when I say call sign, it becomes your identity. When I say call sign, it becomes your identity. If you want to call me, you will take my call sign. If I want to call you, I'll take your call sign. Right? So it becomes, when I say call sign, it becomes Delhi ground. More about ATCs when we do a special lecture on all ATCs. Because today, as you see, I've named today's lecture as lecture 1. And I've given you this series of lectures a batch ID, batch golf 22. Batch golf 22. So you'll be given a new playlist for these series of lectures. Sajal, Vignesh, others, Vishnu, who have attended previous also. You keep a track of both, no problem. You can keep a fresh track of this also, no problem. It's only going to help you. It's your choice. If you're confused anywhere, discuss with me. You guys will be on priority, of course, like others also, but you'll also get as much as you want. So Vignesh, like I told you, we'll be doing your mocks, right? Very nice. Very happy to see your patience and belief. Now we'll do it. Don't worry. Keep reminding. That's what I like about you. Very good. Okay. Very nice. And Ashwini, I've told you what, make as many live calls as you can in the live class. So as and when you learn, Ashwini, keep practicing. Okay. As and when you learn, even if you make mistakes, no problem. Discuss your doubts. Once again, students who are appearing for Hyderabad session, right now, everyone drop a WhatsApp message to me or iMessage, whatever we are using to communicate, and say, sir, Hyderabad, Hyderabad RT, Hyderabad RT, Hyderabad RT. Simple. That's it. Very soon, we are expecting the dates to come out, and that way we'll know your exact dates, and then we'll plan everything individually plus group sessions, whatever it is, however it is. Okay. So right now, everyone message quickly. Because after the lecture, if I ask you to message, half of the students will be gone. Okay. Vignesh is saying it 3 times. Very nice to follow instructions, Vignesh. Both Vigneshes are there in class today. Very happy to see all. The duo. We had one more duo, Neha, right? Yeah, both the Nehas are not there today. One has her NIS exams and I think one is flying. Now you may be how flying without RT and all. You all know when you'll meet. All right. Rishi, Ashwini, Vignesh, and Vignesh. That's it? No one else? Sahana? I think Sahana was giving it, right? Yeah, Sahana is here. Good. I think Priyam, we are missing Priyam today. I think many more students are there. Where is Priyam? Okay. Very good. Thank you. Students who have forgotten they have filled and not send me a message. Once you remember, please send it to me. Okay. It's okay if you don't, if you send it late. I'm not gonna, do anything. Manvir has joined us. Manvir, have you not yet got your call sign?
Yes, I got my call sign, but actually right now I have logged in on my mobile phone. Actually, I came right
Give me
now
your call
from.
sign. I'll rename.
So it is Victor Tango Mike Mike. It is MVR Mike Victor MVR Mike Victor Romeo.
Very good. Very good attempt at recollecting everything. Very nice. Victor Tango, Mike, Victor Romeo. Very nice. Okay. So students, I'll teach you a readability check now and make sure everyone will practice with me the way I have said. From tomorrow onwards, you will be doing it by default, one person at a time. We are simulating a live ATC environment over here. So in live ATC environment, first come, first serve is what happens. Although everyone would come as per the scheduled time of departure, but still first come first serve would be given a priority when they take a call. So let's say we start a session, the channel would be open, my mute or unmute, it doesn't matter, my video on or off, it doesn't matter, because when I turn off on the session, this is always on. Okay, sometimes 5 minutes delay, sometimes 5 minutes early, that is all right. But once, let's say Vignesh starts his readability check, he's done. If I'm not responding, till that time also other people can transmit. So if the channel is open, why am I saying channel is open? Right now on Zoom or on a mobile phone, we can talk, both of us can talk continuously. Vignesh, go on unmute. Yeah, keep talking to me.
Hello, sir. How are you? I'm fine talking with you.
Yeah,
The lectures are very good. I learn a lot. And
yeah, thanks. Thank you for asking. I hope you all also doing very good. So see students, we can talk continuously. We don't have to press any button. We don't have to wait for each other one to talk. Vignesh, go on. Anyone and everyone who's using a computer, okay? By default, Zoom has this option in most of the devices to use the space bar as a PTT button. They don't call it PTT button, but if you unmute yourself, if you mute, now everyone is on mute, right? Now I'm also going on mute. Wait 1 second. Now, as long as I have pressed the space bar button, I can speak. This is how real aviation RT equipment works. We have a PTT button. On an Airbus, the PTT button is here. See here, this one. Look here, everyone. On an Airbus, this is here, this one. Spring loaded, like a bell button. Bell button, and not bell bottom. Bell button. See this one. Can you see this? This. On a Boeing control column, the Boeing control column is, see, now I cannot show you with two hands, otherwise I'll not be able to press the PTT. So when I press the PTT, my RT equipment can transmit. And if I'm doing it on a frequency, let's say Ashwini has an aircraft, let's say Ashwini is flying a Cessna, let's say it's a Cessna 152 on a flight plan, and the registration marking is Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel. Okay, so how will he communicate with Delhi ground? So Delhi ground will have some frequency, VHF 121.4, let's say. So Ashwini will have a radio equipment with a digital screen and certain knobs to tune into this frequency. As per the knobs, he will put this frequency 121.4. Once that frequency is tuned, he has to simply press the push to talk button to talk to me. What happens when he doesn't press push to talk? When he doesn't press push to talk, my system automatically goes on a receiver mode. And whoever is transmitting on this frequency, it could be Delhi ground, it could be any other pilot of any other aircraft, I would be able to listen to that call. By default, your radio systems would be on the receiver mode. And as and when you press the PTT, push to talk, this is how we write. PTT. Push to talk. It means release to listen, like this. Release to listen is default mode. These basic questions can also be asked to you in your part 2 Viva for your RT exam. RT exam, paper pattern, everything will be taught to you again and again. So you press push to talk, you go on transmitter mode. What I said, you release, your transmitter is gone. So this is one additional thing that you learn. Whenever you want to transmit, you just press it. When you're done with the transmission, automatically you can hear. What can you hear? If the ATC is responding, then you can hear that. Or if any other pilot is transmitting on that frequency, then you can hear that. But only one person can transmit. Now, what will happen if I am transmitting and Gulshan decides to transmit when I'm not done? So what will happen? Gulshan might be able to listen, or maybe Gulshan was not tuned. So Gulshan, I'm transmitting, Gulshan is not tuned. Let's say Gulshan wants a startup with Delhi ground, and Gulshan, Victor Tango Golf Sierra November, quickly tunes into that frequency and quickly press PTT. He didn't wait to see if the reception was going on. So if Gulshan does that, then what will happen? My transmission will cut out completely cut out, and Gulshan's transmission would only go to ADC. So whoever is the last person to press PTT is the only person to be transmitting on that frequency. That we cannot simulate here, but other than that, we can simulate a lot of things. So make sure you remember all these things and make sure that, you understand this clearly, the PTT thing and the receiver mode. And whenever you want to talk, if you're using a laptop or computer, because you're on mute so that your background noise doesn't disturb the whole class, right? Whenever you are transmitting, you can simply simulate the PTT also. Okay, students, so let's do this. Quickly, readability check. Now I'm telling you all, stand by 1 second. So now I'm telling you all that no matter where you're coming from, okay? First lecture, last lecture, 10 lectures, 0 lectures, 1 attempt, 2 attempt, doesn't matter. Because it's a fresh batch, first 2-3 lectures would go at a good pace, expectations would be set, learning abilities would be checked, okay, everything. And next week onwards would be increasing the pace ideally. And I'm thinking that we'd be doing 3 to 4 hour lectures for RT in the morning itself with a break of 1 hour or half an hour or 45 minutes. Students, when you get the schedule for the next week, don't say that, sir, can I attend the second lecture of RT and not first lecture? No, they both are the same lecture. You have to attend both. If you're not able to attend both, if you're unable to attend both, make sure you cover up through the recordings in the proper sequence. If you don't like the break of 1 hour in between, let me know. The break is for you to refresh and all everything, plus revise a little bit more of what you had done in the first lecture so that you could discuss it with me in the second half. All right, if you have the time. So students who are worried today that sir आज तो आपने सिर्फ ज्ञान दिया पढ़ाई नहीं दी है मैंने आपको इतने पैसे दे रखे हैं, come and meet me face to face. Okay, we know how to fix your mindset. Just come. Now this was a joke, okay, don't take it seriously. If you're coming, let me know 2-3 days in advance. I would make arrangements to host you. So how to do a readability check? The first call that you make or through any aeromobile station, okay, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel is your call sign, Cessna 152, and Delhi ground is the ATC's call sign. Everybody make it a habit. On the right side, whatever ATC says, you have to write it. All your calls, we have to write it. On the left side would be pilot. So anything that you say and do in your exam, we have to write it. Okay, students, we have to write it. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to lead by example, and then you are going to do it. Okay. And after I'm doing this, everyone will do a readability check writing. Vignesh and Sajal, if you don't do, it's okay. Just send me your calls because you've already done it. Other than that, let's say if Shubhankar and Vishnu try to do it together, And if there's an overlap, then a mutual understanding and respect should happen. If Shubhankar was the first one to transmit, then Shubhankar has the right to continue and Vishnu will step back. Once Shubhankar's call is done, Vishnu can come in. If Vishnu takes a couple of seconds delay, then somebody else can also do it. Okay. So that's the idea. So how to do a readability check. This is the first call that you're learning. Similarly, you'll be learning a lot of calls. Okay. A pan call, a mayday call, a startup call, a pushback call, a taxi call, takeoff call. Okay. So these are common titles given. Now, what is the meaning of a call? A call would mean anything that you're transmitting. So right now, and why we call it a call? If you remember, the last time you spoke to someone over a mobile phone, you must have said, when can I call you back? When can you call me back? We call it a call. Why? Because it uses radio frequencies. So it has not come through mobile phones, it come through basic radio exchange invented a century ago. Okay. So whatever you communicate over RT with ADC or VHF, it's called a call, a general term call. When I say call, PTT will only transmit one message to go, so it becomes one call. The reply that comes, it becomes the second call. And then further on, call. Overall, one situation can also be termed as a call. So this one situation overall can be termed as a call. So let's see how the call goes. There are a lot of elements involved in this. Firstly, usage of radio telephony terms. What are these terms? A few terms are discussed today, and then we'll have a session completely talking about all these terms and all, but it tends to become a little boring. But let's say I'll make it interesting for you. So the radio phraseology, RT phraseology, plus your rate of speech, plus your listening skills, plus your writing skills. These are little things. With couple of days of practice also you can master if you understand it. When I say if you understand it, there are some students who assume what I'm teaching to be right in their own way, how their logical mind makes sense instead of what I'm teaching. Now, this is the most deadliest of hazards of training. Please do not assume something that is different from what I'm teaching, and please do not infer something differently from what I'm teaching. You have the liberty to ask again and again, then why are you not using it? All right. If I'm giving you everything and still you'll have complaints, then you will be at fault because you were given a chance to work out those problems, because everyone will make problems. People keep complimenting me, but I know I'm not perfect. There's so many people, not so many, but one amongst 50 students would come and talk bad about me, at least in front of me, is what I've seen. I know it's a good ratio compared to other skills, but it hurts me even if one student is upset. It just spoils my mood completely, and it shifts my focus from all the good students that I have onto that one bad student. How can I fix him or her? But then, one should not get too deeply involved with the wrong people. And how do you know whether the people are right or wrong? It's very difficult, So you need to have this discernment in your head. In the exam also, this discernment helps you a lot, But then there's some students are very stubborn. They will not listen. They will not discuss. They'll take all the blame on them, saying, "Sir, aapne to acha kaam kiya hai, hum mein koi kami hai." Or they'll say, "Sir, you have done a great job. It's just me that I lack." No, students, it's not you. It's us together. We have to be a team till the time a training for a particular goal is over. So let's do this call. Let's take a couple of minutes breather. Let's just take deep breaths and start with a call, start with a proper training. After I show you a readability check, I'm going to show you a readability scale. Don't take it lightly. You can get confused at times if you have not revised, and that could be a part 2 Viva round also for you. Okay, so it's 9:54. I'll come back at 9:57. Okay, nobody has to leave their seats unless you guarantee that you can come back in the next 2 minutes. Okay, let's come back with a fresh mind. Whoever has joined us late, no problem. Yeah, 9:5. So let's come back at 0957. Just a short breather to refresh. Otherwise, you'll think that sir to abhi bhi daat hi rahe hum sab logon ko. All right. So 0957, I'm going to start with the readability check. And right now you can see it's 0955, 2 minutes exact. Students, let me know if you're back. You can use reactions or emojis on the screen. You can drop me a chat message or you can let me know verbally. Did anyone get the joke?
Affirm, sir.
Joke, 2 minutes, no baggy. Anyone was able to smile? Yes, no? I don't know. It just came to me. I try to crack jokes in the class to help you all smile, right? Otherwise, when I'm shouting, I can be very scary, I've heard. So let's do with the call. The call will start with the pilot, assuming Ashwini is flying for an aircraft, which has a registration marking Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel. All right, so the call would go like this. The best strategy is to first write and then speak. Many students struggle in the initial phase of their training. Sir, speaking and writing is becoming a big task right now. So the best strategy first would be to make a call in your mind and then write. Okay, don't just jump into making a call. But right now, let's assume that you all don't know how to make a call. So I'm just showing it to you, but I have made the call in my mind first time taking this call, okay? Something that you should also do. So, okay, let's go ahead. Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Alpha Sierra Hotel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On 1 to 1 decimal 4. How do you read? Now the question mark is not required, but it's just to show you that it's a question. You can write if you want. Now, if your call has reached to the ATC will quickly respond. The response, in aviation, the response is called as acknowledgement. This is very important. Acknowledgement. Whatever I'm putting an asterisk in red like this, these are standard phrases. Wherever you come across standard phrases, these are what you should speak as and when you can. The meaning of these would be given to you, okay, like very soon in the process. So response means acknowledgement. Acknowledgement doesn't mean yes or no. It just means that let me know if you have received and understood my message. In aviation, RT acknowledgement is very important. If you do not acknowledge in the given amount of time, then the other person thinks that there's something wrong with you. And something wrong with a plane in air carrying a lot of passengers and crew, really, it's a very, very crucial phase for everyone involved. So it creates a sense of panic in the operations room, whoever is connected with this particular aircraft, which is not acknowledged. And based upon the panic, the ATC could announce a alarfa or a distress fa. A distress fa is the worst phase. It means some aircraft is not in touch for more than said amount, something that you learn in your regulations. So if distress fa is announced or alert fa is announced, what will happen? The immediate traffic in the vicinity of Mumbai ground, that immediate traffic all would be asked to stand by. If they are in air or ground, nobody would be given any clearance, and all the ATCs and people involved would come together to try to track that particular aircraft down, which was not acknowledging. This is why you should acknowledge. Think about it. That's why we say you acknowledge within 5 to 10 seconds. 10 seconds is by the official RT requirement. 5 seconds is our official practice requirement. If you practice with 5 in the exams, 10 becomes a piece of cake. So you have to respond within 5 seconds of the last transmission having ended. Rule number 1. If you think today your learning is not happening, I would say shake your head and think again. This is your learning, which will help you clear your RT. If you think otherwise, please change that. I'm going to give you time. Okay. So ATC will respond within 5 seconds. What would be ATC response? Let's everyone write it down. Now, one important thing that I want you all to observe and do along with me, because I'm only speaking this call, this becomes a realistic RT call for you, because most of your ATC calls would be taken by me. So you follow my voice and write everything live as I'm speaking, because in exam also you have to write everything live as the examiner would be speaking. Got it? And where will you write it? You'll write it with the ATC in the ATC section on the right side. And where do you write it, students? You write it in the next line where you have ended your sentence. So let's say it's a blank paper, but let's assume there are lines. So you will start writing what ATC is saying from this line onwards, not from above that. Why? So that anyone who's reading this, what is this? This is called as RT log. So anyone who's reading your RT log will know who transmitted first, who transmitted next, who transmitted third, fourth, fifth, sixth. If you don't do it like this, and if you do this and this, then who has come first, we don't know. This or this, we don't know. So first person will be up, next person will be down, and then continuous like this, step, 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 step. So let's write it down. ADC response. Victor Tango, Alpha Sierra Hotel, Mumbai ground. This is another code for Mumbai ground. Mumbai actually. This also. Something more about these codes. Let's continue with the call. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel, Mumbai ground. Read you 5. How do you read? Almost 5 seconds are up. I have to respond within 5 seconds. Read you 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel. Any reply and any acknowledgement that you give, it should end with your call sign. Very important term. Done. ATC can respond, might not respond. ATC might respond saying Roger. Mumbai ground. That's it. Call done. If you get this call in the examination as a question, then you would be asked to go to next question in your exams, and then you can simply jump on to question number, whichever is the next question. And then you could read the question. That question could be that you have an engine failure. It could be that you have snakes on the plane. I don't know where these jokes are coming to me. Have you seen that movie, Snakes on a Plane? I mean, we don't miss watching any movie based on planes, you know. So snakes on a plane situation doesn't come in RT exams, okay? If it comes, please say Mayday, 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 and emergency landing at the nearest aerodrome. Plus, also ask for snake rescue team and medical emergency services on arrival. See, you don't need to mug up situations, is what I'm trying to show you. Sajal, Vignesh, Pooja, anyone, everyone who has been learning since long time, Jyotsna, Rishi, you don't have to mug up situations. Now, snakes on a plane, nobody's going to teach you, but I did give you a call and intent also. And if I do that in the exam, they will give me at least 18 on 20 for that call. This is what you should do in RT. That's it. It's the easiest exam in the whole world, but it's the most misunderstood exam in the whole world. That's the problem. Anyway, I hope you all saw how to do readability check. After I explain what the readability scale is all about, why read you 5, what's the meaning of 5, what's strength 5. After that, remember your task. Everyone has to do the readability check apart from Sajal and Vignesh. Okay. And student, I'm seriously not keeping well with my health. And for me to shout, it just drains a lot of recovering energy that I'm trying to build in, you know. So please don't behave in a way that would, you know, make me want to, you know, shout again and again. Just whatever it is, just let me know timely and it will be given to you. Just follow instructions. That's it. Now, what is the readability scale? Sajal, 1 to 3, tell me.
Sir, scale 1 means unreadable. Strength 2 means readable now and then. Strength 3 means readable but with difficulty.
Very good. Very good. Very nice. Rishi, 4, 5. Rishi, you're on mute. Victor Tango, Romeo, India, Mike. Victor Tango, Romeo, India, Mike. Mumbai ground. How do you read?
Sir, can you read me?
Station calling, Mumbai ground. Say again, call sign.
Victor Tango Romeo India Mike.
Victor Tango, Romeo, India, Mike. Mumbai ground. Readability scale 4 and 5.
Read you 4 means readable. Read you 5 means perfectly readable.
Very good. Please end with your call sign. All your verbal answers, please make it a habit of ending with the call sign. Class mein hi practice kar loge. If you practice in class, it's going to be much more easier for you in the exam. Please. Very good. So there are two ways of giving this out. Either you can say read you one, or you can say strength one. Both mean the same thing. We don't use the word scale when we say it out loud. So here, if you see, I have said read you 5 also, and I have said strength 5 also. Some of you all who are wondering, if you're wondering why twice, I'll tell you why twice. So read you 1 or strength 1 means unreadable. Now, who those students who are confused with the word read, sir, we are using voice communication, and why is it reading? Reading is with books. We call it reading because we log everything. And any person who is going to will read it, not listen to it, right? Now you might be thinking, sir, do real pilots do log keeping? No, real pilots don't do log keeping. ATCs will do log keeping for essential matters. Pilots don't do it. Then how do pilots remember everything? So yeah, they have to remember in memory all the instructions. So they are trained that way. They train their minds that way. Unreadable means the connection is very bad and we are unable to hear each other properly. I cannot understand what the message is. It's basically not going to work. You will have to transmit again. Okay. Unreadable, not accepted. So let's say I make a call right now. Let's say I make a call to Sana. Okay. Victor Tango, Mike Echo Delta, Mumbai ground. How do you read?
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Mike Echo Delta, radio 5.
So students, how was the readability of this? Was it perfect? Let me know on Zoom chat. Perfect. Now let's say students, whoever is saying verbally end with your call sign, practice that, okay? It was perfect. So that perfect call would be like this here. This is read you 1 or strength 1. After that, we have read you 2, or now you know what these meanings are, strength 2. Then you will have 3. Then you will have 4. And then you will have 5. So what I and Sahana experienced in terms of radio telephonic quality was a scale 5, which everybody noticed. So read you 5 or strength 5 means perfectly readable. So that was it. This is what I should always seek when I establish the communications. So why do you think I'm emphasizing that the first call should be a readability check? Because that's when you figure out whether our RT equipments are working properly. And then the channel is clear. And then you will continue with all your requests. A 4 or 5 is good. A 5 should always be aimed for. If you're unable to get 5, then at least 4 is good enough. But you cannot go below 4. So what is 4? 4 is readable. Okay, I can hear you, but it could be better. Yeah, I can make sense of everything, but it could be better, you know. You never know what I hear wrongly could induce miscommunication. And miscommunication is the enemy of aviation and air traffic controllers and pilots. Miscommunication has resulted in so many accidents that we have invented aviation radio telephony just to avoid those miscommunications. So the need for radio telephony is to avoid miscommunications over radio frequencies between pilots and air traffic controllers and everyone involved, because not everyone will be coming from an English speaking nation. People will come from a non-English speaking background also, and for them to learn English can be a tedious task. So instead of teaching them English, we teach them aviation English plus we teach them RT. Indian students don't really require aviation English because in India, English is the dominant language. So all you need is an RT. Some countries, they need aviation English plus RT. Simple. Okay. So remember the need also, the basic need is just to avoid miscommunications. The logic behind, because not all people will come from an English speaking nation. Plus, not all people can be taught English with grammar in a short period of time. So RT is the best invention. Strength 3 or read you 3 means readable, but with difficulty. If you remember, sometimes when we are talking to someone over the call, sometimes it becomes too difficult to understand what the person is saying, but we can still understand. That is this. Don't go ahead with your calls or with your request or your pushback and start up if your pre-flight check or your readability check has a strength of 3. 3 is not good enough to go ahead with. Okay. Now, students, anytime you have any questions, put it in the chat box. And I remember one student was saying something after this call, please, whoever was that student, I didn't see the student's name also. That's why I say, please use your call sign. At least I remember whoever that student was, it was a male student, of course. So that cuts it down to half of the class. Please ask your doubt after I'm getting done with it. And yeah, all the chat doubts, whatever questions you have, put it in the chat so that I can discuss it after this delivery of this call is over. Strength 2 is very bad. It's like the voice comes and goes, frequent disconnection. So you call it readable now and then. It is also not good because it will only convey half of the information. It will, we say, right, awaaz kat rahi hai, the voice is breaking in normal language. That is readable now and then. The voice is not very clear. Radio 3. Voice theek hai. 4. Perfectly clear. 5. And 1 cannot just understand anything. You remember those times when you call someone and people are like, hello, 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 and they cut the call. That is 1 basically. Because either that person cannot hear you or maybe that person cannot understand you. Okay, so there are 5 scales on the readability scale. Read you 1 or strength 1, anything you can say. Now look at my response. I asked ATC something. How do you read? It's a standard phrase. This is how you ask. I've given it a red asterisk. It means it's a standard phrase. The meaning of how do you read is, let me know the readability of my transmission. Students, you are encouraged to make your notes and make your notes in such a way that you are able to read and revise clearly. Okay. You want, you can keep 2 separate pages for your phrases as I'm giving them in live lectures. So you can write the phrases one by one as I explain in those separate pages, or you can write it in the continuation of your own logs or your notes. So what is the meaning of how do you read? The meaning of how do you read exactly is, let me know the readability of my transmission. So I asked, how do you read? The response would be, read you with the scale number. Sahana was able to hear me on a 5. So she said, read you 5. Then out of ethics, Sahana would also say that, okay, how do you read? Like, okay, I can hear you 5, but can you also hear me 5? So in order to clarify that, she would say, how do you read in the end? So see, there have been two information given to me by the ATC. The number 1 information is read you 5, which was an answer to my reply. Vignesh, focus, okay? Everyone focus here. I assume you're writing also. If you miss out this aspect, then none of your calls would be complete. So I'm not only teaching you readability check. I'm not only teaching you readability check. I'm teaching you the skills to make a perfect call, the skills to make a perfect reply, the skills to focus on the reply and give a proper acknowledgement. Skill to make your call, the first call that you will take. Skill to acknowledge the replies first, listen and write the reply. Then third, skill to how to give a proper acknowledgement or a read back. Your reply becomes your read back and acknowledgement. So what is read back? So any information given to you, what was the information given to you? Read you 5. This was the information given to you. Any information or instruction given to you should be repeated as received. That is called read back. Read back. Earlier we saw acknowledgement. So acknowledgement means a timely response. It doesn't mean yes or a no. That is very important. My ATC gave me an answer. ATC had nothing to give as a read back because I didn't give any information. So they just simply replied, read you 5, and they asked me a question. So they give me an information, read you 5, which I'll give exactly as received. So read back is a very important aviation RT phrase, asterisk. Okay. The meaning of read back is repeat as received. In bracket, I'll write what exactly do you have to repeat as received. Only these things you'll focus upon. Repeat as received, info or instructions. That's it. Any info or instruction given to you. You don't have to read back the call signs. The call sign after read back you will use only to end your call. So I'm giving first the read back of read you 5. I said read you 5. Then they asked me, how do you read? So I'm giving a reply. What was my reply? Even I could hear her 5. So I said strength 5. If you don't want to say strength 5, you can say read you 5 also. Read you 5, read you 5, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel. So you're giving a read back to the information ATC gave you, plus you're giving an answer to the question ATC gave you. So this presence of mind is very important. What you're listening and how you're understanding it. See, students, if you understand all these things, you can clear RT in 15 days also. Trust me on that. But if you don't understand what I'm teaching, then it will be difficult for you to clear through my strategy. That is something that I have seen. Not everyone is capable of using my strategy. I don't know why. Maybe because they are shy, or maybe because I don't know. Because I'm telling you all to reach out to me, Why don't you reach out to me? A few people who reach out to me, I'm very happy. Some might be thinking, sir, we reach out to you, don't reply. I'm not talking to you. You don't worry. You're doing the right thing. I'm talking about others, Some people know who I'm talking about. Make sure this time you don't make that mistake. Do as you're told. If I'm pushing you, please be pushed. You will evolve into something better. But if you show me resistance that no, sir, I cannot do it, then what's the benefit of having a personal coach as an instructor, man? Come on. So everyone write down this readability scale. I hope you have understood the call. And a readback of any instruction or information is very important within 5 seconds. Then, of course, give an answer to the reply and then end with your call sign. Ending with your call sign means you are validating that the call was said by me only and not some other station. Why do you think there is a need for ending with your call sign? Because over a busy aviation radio telephony network, we don't have visuals, we don't have faces, nor do we have any caller ID. So ATC, when listening to the pilot or anyone else over radio, eyes are closed. Now my eyes are closed behind the shades. Maybe you cannot see. Now, when you close your eyes, everyone close your eyes. Okay. Everyone close your eyes. Vignesh, close your eyes. Okay. I'm also closing my eyes. I'm not shutting my video off. But you all close your eyes. If you're not closing your eyes, then I'll have to shut my video off. I want you all to experience this blind. Because in the exam also, it will be blind only, everything. Although the ATC will be sitting behind you, you'll not be able to see the ATC, and they'll be connecting you with 2 common headphones, one with the ATC, one with you, with no PTT. And there will be 6 to 7 students having 6 to 7 instructors in total, like one each in the same exam room, solving the same question paper. Do you think all people will be able to give similar answers? No, it's never possible unless you have ratified. And students, one interesting fact I've come across, you all remember some PDF I'd shared, handwritten PDF. Most of you all have had it. I've asked you all to read it and I've given all instructions how to read it. Apparently, some institutes are only training students with those papers, and apparently those papers are also being repeated. And some students are clearing in their first attempt through that also. Like I was talking to a student a couple of days earlier who had withdrew his admission midway only, long back. And he was saying, sir, I want refund. I said, see, you just stick and we'll help you clear. Don't worry. You have joined too early. That's why we're asking you to wait. He's like, sir, no, you're not taking enough lectures. But I told him that, wait, okay, you are the first one in the batch and you will be trained. But because we didn't have the connect, he withdrew. And when a student withdraws by themselves, it's very difficult, to arrange for the refund and all, because we have already thought and all, and already we are in loss, because we're training people. Anyway, that being said, so that student was arguing with me, again and again. I told him 3 to 4 months ago also that don't worry, we are not liable to give you anything, but I understand we will pay you, but I'm not sure when. If we have some money in surplus in the academy, surely we'll give you, but we cannot guarantee. This is the maximum I could do with you. He's not ready to understand. And he's calling me names and all. So yesterday, I think couple of days ago, I spoke to him. I said, "Where have you been? I've been trying to get in touch with you." And I genuinely was trying to get in touch with him. He said, "Sir, don't lie. I never got a message or email from you." I'm like, "Okay." And his language was such that I have cheated him. Okay. And I told him, "You cannot talk to me like this because I know what I'm doing, you know." Still, he was very angry. But I managed to ask him initially, "How was your paper?" You know what he said? "Sir, I got Victor Tango something. It was easy." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Sir, I got Victor Tango this. It was easy." I'm like, "What is this Victor Tango this? It's a call sign, right?" He said, "Yeah, it's a call sign." Allah, so how can you, what are you trying to hint at? Like, is there some code that I'm not aware about that one call sign becomes an easy line? I was confused. Then it clicked. Then he said, "Sir, वो salt paper आया था, वही आया मेरे को, I cleared. Part 1, part 2, I'm awaiting results." I'm like, "This is how you have learned." But I'm like, "Okay, good. All the best." And afterwards, the argument happened. So I'm happy for him. He cleared part 1, but how? That was something that I would never support. See, I've given you all the papers also. I've asked you all to read also. But did I say repeat hoga, pass ho jaoge? No, that's not the right way to train in the long run. But now I've told you all, if anybody wants to definitely clear, then probably you could expect one of the papers to repeat. So maybe you could just mug up the whole set of PDF. But that is not what I would advise. But that could be your backup plan, okay, everyone. But this is not how we teach. Because student is paying so much, not just for the RT license, okay, for the training also. And eventually every one of you all will get the RT license. Some of you all in first attempt, maybe second or third, but eventually you all will get it earned. It upsets me, you know, it really upsets me, but it's okay. So everyone done with readability check and the scale? Please make your notes clearly. You have to send me your notes at the end of the class. Time for questions. One by one, first I'll answer all the unanswered questions on the chat box. And then one guy who was giving me a verbal answer question, please go ahead first by the time I'm reading this. What was it, student? My dear student, nameless, please come up, surface up. Was it Vignesh? Was it Gulshan, Ashwini, Vishnu, Shubhankar, Nitin?
Negative, sir.
Piyush,
Victor Tango Lima Romeo Charlie.
Sajal, Manvi, Rishi?
Negative, sir. Victor Tango Romeo India Mike.
Excuse me, sir.
Negative, sir. Victor Tango Gold Sierra November.
Manvir, was it you?
Negative.
No, sir, it was not me, but I have a doubt.
Okay, Manvir, stand by for your doubt.
Yes,
Victor Tango
sir.
Sierra Mike. Victor Tango Sierra Mike.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts?
Negative, sir.
Very nice.
Victor
Suchitra,
Tango
no
Sierra
doubts.
Sierra Mike.
Very good. Good way to end the call sign.
So
Pooja,
I want to
Sana,
check.
Ashwini, sorry, say again, Ashwini.
So I want to do EADB check, sir.
Yes, you all have to do it. Stand by. Be ready, study it carefully so that your call is perfect until then. Everyone will get a chance. Make sure your call is perfect, Ashwini. Nitin, was it you?
Negative, sir.
Okay. Whoever was it, is the doubt clear? Okay, I think the student has forgotten. Probably the doubt is clear. I hope you didn't feel bad because I just said standby, okay? Please don't feel bad, okay? All right. So question time. Before I start the activity of the readability live call, everybody will give me a live call, okay? Live call. Don't write and don't first make the whole call and then speak. You'll just start writing and speaking. So Suchita has given us the answer. Sahana, please, you were also giving me this answer. Please cross-check. Victor Tango is the nationality mark given by International Telecommunications Union to every member state of ICAO. And the next three letters are registration markings by DGCA. Is it DGCA or is it central government? Good job,
DGCA.
Suchita. Manvir is saying DGCA. Sahana, what do you think? Vignesh
So,
is
Mark,
DGCA. Yeah, carry on, Sahana. It's okay if we cross talk. It's okay.
I think aircraft registration is by central government and marking would be by DGCA.
No. The markings, there are two markings. nationality marking and registration marking. So you tell me who gives nationality marking and who gives registration marking. Both are marks only.
Registration marking would be Victor Tango, right?
No, that is nationality. That represents India. Victor Tango represents India. And the next three letters would represent the exact aircraft registered in the register of aircrafts. Who has the registration of aircraft? Students who have done nationality and registration marking, come on. Or students who have done regulations, come on. So nationality marking ITU is correct, given to all the states of ICAO. Okay. And aircraft registration, one second, okay. Keep submitting your answers. Nationality mark is also known as common mark. Remember these things, okay? Read it out. Victor Tango. One second, okay. Victor Tango, November, India, Tango. One by one, you will have to read back nationality mark points, okay? So after I have written everything, you will give me a read back. So be very careful. A radio call sign is the same, Victor Tango. ITU has issued the nationality registration mark because it's a radio call sign. Why ITU? What is ITU? Write down ITU is International Telecommunications Union. Very important organization. Will be talking about 5 to 7 points. Students who have already done that, time for some mental revision also. See if you are able to give answers to these questions or not. If not, then it should say that you are not yet prepared for part 2. 4 points, 3 points. Okay. Nitin, go ahead and make sure you end with your call sign, okay?
Sir, do you want to read?
Sorry, say again.
Do you want me to read?
Is that what you understood with my instructions? Nitin, is that what you understood with my instructions? Yes, no?
I didn't get you.
Yeah. Did you understand that you have to give me a readback of these calls with my instructions? Nitin, I want you to give me a readback of all these points, 1 to 4, 1, 2, 3, 3 points for nationality mark, a readback. So your readback is the information you will give exactly as you have received it. So only the points that I have written down, you'll give me a readback. Yes, you would give me a readback, Nitin. And once you have given me a readback, it would end with your call sign. Have you understood it? Victor Tango, November, India, Tango, it's Nitin, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know what is a readback?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
When you're giving it, also write it. Although it's not a call, but it will help you practice writing and speaking. Go ahead. When I say go ahead, it means you are ready to transmit. Nitin, are you confused? If confused, then tell me with what?
Sir, I didn't get you. Sorry.
Okay, stand by, observe. Okay. Gulshan, give me a readback of nationality mark and end with your call sign.
Nationality mark, also known as common mark. It has two letters, which is issued by International Telecommunication Union, along with Radio Union.
Along with radio call sign. This is the
Radio
abbreviation.
call
This is the
sign.
abbreviation.
Radio call sign VT. Two
Not
member
VT, Victor Tango.
states, Victor Tango, two member states of ICAO, Victor Tango Golf Sierra November.
Excellent, Gulshan. Nitin, have you understood what is the readback now?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Ensure next time I ask you to give a readback, you give me a readback. Okay?
Affirm,
We have
sir.
explained what is a readback, Nitin. A little more focus. It's your first class. Take it easy, take it right. Students joining in for the first time. After all that I have said, do not panic. Take it easy. Okay. Shubhankar, of course. Next time when you have to go, Shubhankar, make sure you practice one call and then go, okay?
Sir, I can practice. Can I practice now?
No, afterwards. 4 minutes, you please prepare for the next class. We'll do it tomorrow, don't worry. Make
Affirm,
sure you
sir.
cover up the missed part of the session, okay?
Affirm, sir. Victor
Very
Tango Cerebral.
Very good. Very good. See you soon, okay? Very good. About registration marking, write down the fourth point. Roman numbers, or not just numbers, Roman letters. And for aircraft, defense aircraft in India, would be VU. Okay, for defense aircrafts. Issued by ITU to all the member states of ICAO. ICAO full form, students, please write down. International Civil Aviation Organization. ICAO. International. All these abbreviations, full forms are very important. Part 2 Viva, Part 1 somewhere. Please don't take it easy, and students who have already done it, it's a very good revision for you all. Plus, right now you should be like, okay, this I'll never forget ever. Don't think, arey sir, aage kab badhenge and all. Don't worry about all that. Of course, registration mark in India would be 3 Roman letters separated by hyphen after nationality mark. Third point I'll write here. That's it. Nationality mark. Sorry,
Victor
say
Tango,
again. Sorry.
Papa Sierra Golf. So read again.
Instead of read again, you say again.
Say again, okay. Victor Tango, Papa Sierra Golf.
Say again what?
So the full form of ICAO.
Very good. And end with your call sign.
Victor Tango, Papa Sierra Golf.
Very good. International Civil Aviation organization. And students who are joining us first time and all, if you don't clear your RT exam, we are going to teach you again and again till the time you clear your RT exam. So you don't think कि sir मेरे पैसे waste हो जाएंगे, मुझे वापस से भरने पड़ेंगे. We are not doing it for money. I wish we were doing it for money, but we are not, because it's my philosophy. When it's education, money will come in the last, and you all know it by now. So please never bring that again in front of me, okay? Or else I'll just simply say goodbye forever. And I don't like doing that. Because it's a small industry, you know, and people need good instructors. So you cannot fight with your instructors. How many times will an instructor forgive you all? 3 Roman letters separated by a hyphen after the nationality marks, and mentioned in Register of Aircraft available with DGCA for public reference. If you want to check which aircrafts are registered in India and not, you can simply walk down to DGCA office and check in the Register of Aircraft. Okay. And one second, okay. Not to overlap with 3-letter Q codes. Now there are 3-letter Q codes for everything in aviation. Q codes. Like QRM, for example, something that we use in RT, this Q code is called as interference. Like I was saying that if I'm transmitting, let's say Ashwini was transmitting and Gulshan interfered. So that interference is known as QRM. So that's a Q code. You can say QRM. There are certain aviation specific abbreviations which you can say ABCD. Rest aviation ABCD is Alpha Bravo Charlie Delta. Only specific aviation specific abbreviations you can say QRM. If this Q code would not have been an aviation specific abbreviation, then I would have read it out as Quebec Romeo Mike. But aviation specific abbreviations, you can say ABCD. Okay. Yeah, it's correct, Jyotsna, what you have shared with me. Nationality mark is a common mark. Okay. Every member state will mean ICAO member countries only. So it's correct. What you have written is correct. I hope there's no confusion. If there is, mention the confusion, okay? Then distress signal. Distress means the worst emergency you could face. SOS, XXX, PAN, PAN, TTT. Your registration marking should not overlap with these. Plus, certain aircrafts can also have up to 5-letter registration markings. Okay. So the 5-letter codes used in a document known as International Code of Signals, Part 2. Extra info, important info could help you crack difficult questions in Part 2. So now we know what are registration marks, what are nationality marks. Good enough. This content that I'm giving you is more important for Part 2 and also important for your understanding for Part 1. So please highlight Part 2 in big words. So when you're revising, you can give more focus on Part 2. So it's not like I'm not teaching you anything today. I'm teaching you a lot of things today. how to make a basic call, what are the rules, readability scale, readability check, so much of info about part 2. Basically, part 2 can be unlimited. Anything and everything that is associated with radio, ICAO, civil aviation can be asked in part 2, plus your aviation education also. So yeah, we'll try to cover as many things. The more you read and learn, the better. But yeah, we can prioritize the topics also. So that being said, I think I'll catch my breath. Until then, everyone do a readability check, write it down. Okay, the invisible thing we'll do practice again and again later maybe. But right now, please practice your calls. Right now, I'm going to keep my video on so that you can see how I'm acting as a ATC. So that in the exams, you can see how your examiner would be acting, even though you cannot see them. I'm teaching you how to see them. You know, all these things are genius things. These help us clear in first attempt easily. Okay, first come, first serve. Let's do it. We don't have much time before we practice these calls. The mic and the stage is all yours, future pilots, future commercial pilots, I would say. No, future airline pilots, I should say, because a few of y'all are already pilots. So future airline pilots, yes. Go ahead, everyone. One by one, write your call neatly. Once your call is done, you'll send me a picture.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta on 121.9er, pre-flight radio check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Mike Echo Delta, Mumbai ground, speak slower, say again all.
I say again, Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta on 121.9er, pre-flight radio check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read? With Mumbai ground, you're on mute.
So this here, you know, this is what I want to simulate. Very nice. But what could you have said, Sahana? Instead of you're on mute, you should have said video one.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. No problem. This is how we learn. But yeah, very good. No problem. So instead of that, change it again. Vignesh, you're raising your hand. You want to say something?
Yeah, sir. Actually, how could they say read you one, sir? Because it could have been, RCF or something like that. She should have raised the station.
No. If it is RCF, if 5-10 seconds are gone, the person can simply either raise the station again or simply say Mumbai ground radio 1, Victor Tango Mike Delta. It's okay. Same. He or she has to give 5 to 10 seconds, ideally, to wait for a response. But here, because the video was on, she could see that I'm speaking, but I cannot transmit. If the video would not have been on, like something that I would simulate in next classes, I just want to show you all how you have to do things. I'm showing the white paper also, like your answer sheet also, log sheets, we call them. So that way it was nice. Just make sure whatever RT phrases you have learned, you communicate with that in our random conversations also. Very good going. So yeah, we'll continue this from here. So I was transmitting, but you could not hear. Let's see, you gave me 10 seconds. So continue from here, Sahana, quickly.
I say again.
No. From this, read you 1.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango, Mike Echo Delta, read U1.
Victor Tango, Mike Echo Delta, Mumbai ground, read you 5. How do you read?
Read U5. Strength 5. Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta.
Very good. Next station, it's available. But Sahana, I want to say something. When you took your first call, had you written the call upfront and then just read it?
I had just, as you told in the beginning, to write first and then talk. So I had already written Mumbai ground and then I started writing the rest while talking to you.
Okay, very good then. But it was a little too fast for the examiner. I'm very happy that you have such a fast writing and speaking skill, but go a little slow.
Affirm, sir.
Next call, we'll check that. Okay, slightly slower because you saw I was struggling to write. So that should not happen. It becomes too fast for the other person also. Very good otherwise. Very good. And I like the authority that you had in your voice. I can see you're all pumped up. Very nice. Keep it up. I can sense a lot of preparation and confidence right away. I think all the base that all the other students who have already had some sort of training, you feel that it's a good base that is set up for you. Simple, nothing else. No crying over spilt milk, thinking I did not clear this and that. Anyone who's in that phase, just say, oh, my base is strong. This attempt is my attempt. Simple. Very good. Next, please go ahead.
Mumbai ground.
Stand by. Sorry. Once again. Sorry. Ashwani. Sana, if your call's done, send me a picture of your log as soon as your call's done. Everyone, same instruction. Quickly, we have less than 10 minutes. We have to finish more than 12 calls. Go ahead.
Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel, stand 2 on 121 decimal liner, pre-flight radio check 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango, Alpha Sierra Hotel, Mumbai ground, radio 5. How do you read?
Radio 5, strength 5, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Very good, Ashwini. But Ashwini, had you written the call down already or did you give me a live call?
So I have written on already.
What was the instruction, Ashwini? Don't write the call and speak. Write it live. Because your rate of speech was very fast, but the call was very good. I'm happy with the call, but this is not how you can take the calls in the exam. So, jo aapne the first call, students, Hindi, English, both I'm using right now. Whoever doesn't understand Hindi, don't worry, the same I'll automatically translate in English also. ये जो पहला call है, the first call that you see, that you make, it helps you to write it down and then speak because you'll make a correct call. But this is totally against the examination strategy. And if the examiner finds it out, that you have written the call and then speaking, then they will deduct your marks because it's totally against the examination policies. Okay. So how to do it, what to do? That's why I give you the strategy to first make your call in your mind. Got it, students? Ashwini, are you understanding this strategy?
From Sir Victor Tango Alpha.
So this same call that you have made right now, instead of writing, make it in your mind, fix the mistakes, And when you're giving out the call, just start writing and speaking live. And please, your rate of speech is a little fast, Ashwini. This will not help us. Don't go with what real pilots do. I'll talk about again and again. I have certain questions also. But just focus on what you're learning in class if you want that RT license. Okay, students? Ashwini, instructions are very clear. Don't write first and speak. Still, you have done that. Can you care to explain why? I want to understand your psyche. That's why. I'm not angry. You can make as many mistakes you all want, students, but explain why you're making mistakes so that I can give you individual attention also. Understand, if you are there in the industry 4 to 5 years, 3 years, and have not had proper training, but in bits and pieces, then those bits and pieces can be a danger to you to learn the right thing now. We call them calcified thought forms. I'm into human factor training also. I understand these terms. You might not understand. Calcified means something that has become concrete and it's difficult to break. You understand what I'm saying? So students who are there in that situation, who are not starting from scratch, but who are starting officially now, for you, it's very important that you follow my instructions carefully and do as said. So Ashwini, why do you think you wrote the call and then you read it instead of giving me a live call? You could have simply read the whole call again and simply written the whole call while speaking also. No problem. Nobody would have got to know that. So explain what happened so that I can help you in the long run. Please, nicely. Why?
So my sorry, sir.
Sorry, what? Say again. Read you too.
So my fault, sir. Victor Tango for sir.
फॉल्ट तो तुमसे हुआ है बट वो याद क्यों नहीं था इंस्ट्रक्शन वो पूछ रहा हूँ मैं
Because of excitement, sir.
Sorry, excitement. Okay, very nice. Excitement is good, no problem. अभी से याद रखोगे?
Definitely, sir. Victor Tango for sir.
ऐसे नहीं चलेगा, अच्छे से जवाब देना है, पूरा कॉल साइन सुनाई देना चाहिए.
FM, sir. Victor Tango for sir.
Very good effort. Keep it up. Good try. Next.
Mumbai ground. Victor Tango Lima Romeo Charlie on 121.9er. Pre-flight radio check. 1 2 3 4 5 5 4 3 2 1. How do you read?
Victor Tango Lima Romeo Charlie. Mumbai ground. Radio 5. How do you read?
Radio 5. Strength 5. Victor Tango Lima Romeo Charlie.
Very good. It's Vishnu, right? Or it's Vignesh?
Vignesh, sir.
Yes. Sorry, I got confused with your call sign, Vignesh. Long time, Vignesh, since I've seen your live call. Very good. I had almost forgotten your voice, so thank you for reminding me. But Vignesh, tell me about your first call. Had you written it or did you take it live?
Live, sir.
Very good then. Your rate of speech is a little too fast. Go a little slow. That would be all right.
Roger, sir.
Very good. Very good. Good call otherwise. But students, okay. With whom are you learning? Are you learning with me or are you learning with Ashwini or Sahana or Vignesh? Of course, you're learning with me. If you're learning with me, then why are you not focusing on the readability check call that I have given you? What is my call? A readability check. Did I say pre-flight check? No, but everyone is giving me pre-flight check. It's fine. Okay, fine. It's not a big deal. Even if you do that, it's fine. But right now, I'm emphasizing on pre-flight, not pre-flight check, readability check. Readability check does not need the word pre-flight check. Okay. Readability check is simple. The person I'm calling, Whom are you calling? W1. Who are you? W2. Whenever you're doing a readability check, this is important to say so that they can ensure whether the continuity is there or not. If the person is able to hear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it is a guarantee that the scale is 5. I've just mentioned my frequency. And how do you read? Then why are you giving me pre-flight check? Common sense, focus. A pre-flight check is a different check altogether, which sounds like a readability check. A pre-flight check is a mandatory check for a pilot to do in a sequence of mandatory pre-flight checks before they can confirm a final confirmation, which is before they can confirm that the aircraft is fit to fly. This readability check is not that check. This is a basic RT-COM check. If this is fine, only then I'll go ahead with my official checklists. Pre-flight check is my official checklist for my radio equipments. So when I say readability check, just give me readability check. Don't give me pre-flight check. Come on. 1 or 2 people can do it. I understand. They have been doing it since past. But right now I'm explaining all the difference. If I'm asking for a readability check, only give a readability check. If you want to call it, you can say Mumbai ground, Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel, readability check, 121.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. How do you read? That is acceptable. But don't call readability check pre-flight check anymore. Pre-flight check is different. This is not pre-flight check. We do it pre-flight, but pre-flight check is a noun. This is generic. It's also a noun, but it is generic. I hope you all understand this. Otherwise, everything else is good with your call, students? Okay. We will pause with the live call activity because it's already 11. I want to answer your questions and we have to wrap up the session also. So students who are unable to do the live call tomorrow as we join 9 a.m. First things first, you will do a readability check. Send me a note, pictures of your notes, and then we'll proceed. Okay. Make sure I don't have to give you 30-minute, 45-minute basic instructions tomorrow. The instructions given today are enough for you to do well up to this weekend. Okay. So make sure you remember, you will have access to the recordings. So far, I'm keeping this open for all of you all to access. So in case you want to revise once, you could do the revision. Okay. Otherwise, up to you. Anytime if you don't get access, quickly let me know so that also give me your registered Gmail address again so that I'll give you access, and the access can be achieved using your registered Gmail only through YouTube. Okay. So remember that. And yeah, questions now first. I am very exhausted and I feel like I'm going to collapse.
Video one, sir. Your voice is so.
Right. Yeah, sorry. So Jyotsna, Victor Tango mentioned there issued by ITU to ICAO member states and aircraft registration DGCA. I understand your confusion. It's okay. It's a common confusion, nothing to worry about. Rishi is asking, sir, I have seen videos where pilots talk in the native language. Is that allowed? In the RT exams, it is not allowed. In real aviation environment, during the time of emergencies, it is not allowed. But if a pilot chooses to do so, as long as the pilot has not made a safe landing, nobody is going to make an issue about it. After the landing is successful, of course, an inquiry will be held for that incident or accident. In that, probably the point would be picked out that why didn't you use proper RTY native language? Probably the pilot was under stress. But was the pilot certain that the ATC would understand the native language in times of emergency? How could he or she make that assumption? So although it's allowed, if an accident happens, then the inquiry would be made. And in that inquiry, you would be answerable. If no accident has happened, it's a common flight, and ATC is also used to your mother tongue or regional language. You are also used to mother tongue or any language. Then people can be a little informal to enjoy the experience and not put extra stress on the flying pilots or the ATC, because stress is our number one enemy in aviation. You might think, sir, ye faltu ki baat hai, but as you go ahead, you will see that, wow, Alkesh sir was preparing us for airlines and we didn't even realize it. And then you'll be like, oh, wow. Either you would be like, great, I have the training, or else either it would be like, oh shit, I should have focused more. Sorry for the word SHIT. But yeah, it's not always bad in India, right? Cow dung and all we use as a manure and fuel also. So yeah, don't worry. Any more questions, anyone so far? Go through your notes, readability check, acknowledgement, read back. How do you read? How have I read the frequency? How to do the log keeping? See, this is basic. You have learned today. Nationality registration markings, readability scale. Don't take it lightly. If you go about it, there are 8 to 10 important points, plus some psychological strategy for our optimum revisions, and plus your live calls. So quickly, students who can extend, if you don't have any more questions, we will practice calls and end. If you have any questions, now is the
Sir, I
time.
have a doubt.
Yes, Nitin.
So once you are done with pre-flight radio check, and when you're flying, in that time, if you get a radio 1, what we have to do?
Anytime when you are talking to a particular AC after successful radio checks, and after that, if you come across a situation where you have a problem, you try to raise the station again. How do we raise the station? Everyone look at it. Once we will raise the station, how do we raise the station? Like this. Mumbai ground, Air India 909er. This is how you will raise the station. Which station are you raising? Mumbai ground. So if you radio 1 to an ADC, you will simply raise the station again. If the station doesn't respond, like within 5 to 10 seconds, if you say no response, all right, then what will you do? You will call the next ATC. So ideally, I'll teach you the hierarchy when I'm taking a session on ATC. Probably in the next 2 or 3 lectures, you'll be doing all these things. First, what is important is your ability to take and understand calls. After that, we should learn calls. Otherwise, I've seen it becomes a big problem towards the exams and students. I don't want to take that risk for y'all. Not with everyone, but with a few. Call the next ATC. So here you would be doing like this. Mumbai Tower, Air India 909er, negative contact with Mumbai ground. This is also just like raising the station. But if you don't say negative contact with Mumbai ground, then tower could say that Air India 909er, Mumbai tower, contact Mumbai ground. Because at every aspect of your stage of flight, be it pre-flight, be it taxi, ground movements, before takeoff, during takeoff, after takeoff, climbing, cruising, every aspect or every segment of your operation would be dealt by a specific air traffic controller. If you are not connected with that controller, you will try to contact the next ATC and tell them this ATC is not responding. Simple. Okay. Then they will tell you what to do and you follow that. Either they will take your request and help you with it, or they might check with ground and get back to you, or they might assign a new frequency on which ground is available for the time being. If tower also doesn't say anything in the next 10 seconds, you try to call the next ATC, which would be, if even this is no response, then you'll try to call to the next ATC would be Mumbai approach. Victor Tango, correction, Air India 909er, right? Yeah. If approach also doesn't give me any response, then I'll go to the next ATC. So major airports will have the same sequence, ground, tower, approach, control. Smaller airports will not have that sequence. They will only have tower and maybe approach, or maybe just tower. Control would be with someone else. All this you will learn, don't worry. I'll make the call again, but this is an important question, and students, what I'm teaching you right now is basic RCF. Radio communication failure. If you can remember this now, it will be really helpful to you. Nitin, a very good question. Mumbai Control, Air India 909er. If you don't get any response, again, okay, let's say the worst happens. Ideally, tower will give you a response, or maybe approach will give you a response. But let's say nobody is giving you a response. It means your transmitter has failed. And when your transmitter has failed, Sajal, Vignesh, and others who have had some training in the past, transmitter failure will directly lead to an RCF situation. You don't have to call the next ATCs if transmitter failure is directly given in your question. If transmitter failure is not given in your question, just no ATC response or RCF is mentioned, then this is how you would go ahead in your exams. In real life, of course, you will not get any transmission. That would be your hint towards an RCF situation. If this also no response, then understand all these tower approach, control, delivery, and all. Delivery we're not using here, but in ATC lecture, I'll show you delivery also exists as an ATC. If VHF ATCs are not there, and if you have HF also, HF radio equipment also, generally all aircrafts will have HF and VHF. So if VHF is not working, still if you have RCF, RCF means radio communication failure. Whenever you cannot hear the other person or the other person cannot hear you, RCF exists. RCF, radio communication failure. So if VHF is not working, I'll try to call the HF authority. Next, Mumbai Radio. Radio RDO is abbreviation for radio, RADIO. All the abbreviations that I'm using, you can also use it in your exam also. It's encouraged that you use abbreviations in your exams so that your writing and speaking, writing is easier, speaking is slower. Mumbai Radio, Air India 909er, negative contact with ATC on VHF. Simple. You don't have to say ground tower approach control also. If ground also doesn't respond, ground is HF, basically you learn all that. No response. Then what do? All aircraft in the vicinity of Mumbai, Air India 909er, negative contact with ATC. Whenever you have to repeat a code like all aircraft twice, you can just write it once and you can just multiply it by 2. For emergency calls, Mayday or Pan also, you can use the writing skill. Pan into 3, but you will say it 3 times. Pan, like that. Let's say now this all aircraft, why are we calling all aircraft? Because in the vicinity of Mumbai, many aircrafts would be tuned into the same frequency. That's why. Okay, so this all aircraft, if you're thinking, sir, which frequency, then you can use any frequency. You can use ground also, tower also, approach also, control also. In the examination, just simulate one. Don't mention the frequency, it's fine. Mention of frequency in your calls is not mandatory, but if you speak it correctly and also hypothetical data is allowed, it gets you more points. If no other aircraft is also responding, it means my transmitter has failed. Otherwise, somebody would have responded, right? So this is what you do. Remember this. As a pilot, this is what you would do. In the exam also, this is what you will do. All aircraft, not all stations. Okay. Vignesh is asking us, sir, should we tell all aircraft, or all stations? All aircraft. Why aircraft? Because ATC is not in touch. At least some other aircraft would be able to receive if they are transmitting on the same frequency. You talk to other aircrafts so that the other aircrafts can confirm if they can talk to ATC or not. If they confirm they can talk to ATC, but you cannot talk to ATC, so all your messages and requests, you can ask that particular aircraft to relay to the ATC. Relay. So if you get hold of an aircraft who can communicate with you, but you cannot communicate with ATC, then you ask that aircraft to relay your messages to ATC, and that aircraft will relay ATC's messages to you, and you can still proceed with your flight plan or your flight operations. Got it, students? This is a very good question. This is teaching you the most important one of the. There are 4 assumingly tough things for aviation RT students. If we have to say, then the 4 things are RVSM, okay, weather deviation, RCF, and then emergency, pan mayday 4. RVSM, weather deviation, RCF, and then emergency, that is urgency and distress. So this is RCF. Okay. If I say no response here also, let's say I don't get any response. This is RCF that I'm teaching you right now. Then what do? I come back to original ATC. Who was my original ATC? Mumbai ground. What do? Now this is the most important call in RCF. Mumbai ground, Air India 909er, transmitting blind, stand 2, security check cleared, standing by for pushback and startup, IFR Mumbai to Kolkata, flight level 270, passenger on board 140, Boeing 787, heavy, information Bravo, will call again at 1310. I say again, Mumbai ground, Air India 909er, transmitting blind 1300, stand 2, security check cleared, standing by for pushback and startup, IFR Mumbai to Kolkata, flight level 270. Students, you all continue writing, okay? Flight level 270. Write just once, not twice, okay? POB 140, correction. Passenger on board 140, Boeing 787, heavy, information Bravo, will call again at 1310. So to answer Nitin's question in entirety with radio 1 for all possible ATCs, this is where you would end up. Let's say if you were flying, then you would continue flying as per the flight plan and make a same call saying, where am I? What am I doing? What is my radial? What are my DME? What are my estimates? And I'm going to call back in the next 10 minutes. In the first call, I missed mentioning the time. 1300 is the time now. Okay, but I fixed the error in the next part of the call. Transmitting blind call, you have to transmit twice in the same call, separated by I say again. And in the end, you'll mention when are you going to call again. That should be separated 10 minutes from now. So I could have idly mentioned over here time 1300 so that it would have given me a better understanding why we've used this time. And then I say again, and this is how you take a transmitting blind call. You write this down. During RCF, right? Total, for our reference, total RCF means everything is gone. Yeah, who's this? Wait. Piyush, yes, no problem. We are almost wrapping up. Whenever you get time, just cover up the next 5-10 minutes in the end. Okay. Suchita is asking, sir, the transmitter has failed. So how can we reach out to other aircraft in the vicinity when transmission has failed completely? Very good question. This is your duty to do so. Even if you think or know that your transmitter has failed, still you keep transmitting. This is called transmitting blind. So you have no way of knowing your transmitter has failed. Probably you are just thinking that receiver has failed. Even if in the exam they say transmitter has failed, you have to do this because you are not the engineer to certify that the transmitter has failed. It's the engineer's duty. So you don't know what's wrong, but you can only assume probably the transmitter is wrong. Probably my receiver is wrong. Even if your receiver is wrong, you will not get response from anyone. So how do you know it's transmitter wrong or receiver wrong? The thing that I said, transmitter wrong, directly take this call, is only when the transmitter failure is mentioned in the question. Then you directly make a transmitting call, transmitting blind call. You don't have to go through all the ATCs and wait for no response. Understand this carefully. Is that clear, Suchita? Are you there? See your mic? Very good. So even if your transmitter has failed, you will be doing this thing. If directly transmitter failure has given you, directly make the transmission call. If not, then you have to go step by step, try to call everyone. Then come back on the original frequency. Remember, come back on the first frequency where you faced an RCF, that was Mumbai ground, and then make a transmitting blind call. And the transmitting blind call will go twice. Okay. I was giving you all something during RCF, during total RCF, do TX is short for transmitting. Do transmitting blind call only when you don't need any deviation from flight plan. If deviation is required, in example, bracket right, during RVSM plus RCF, or WX is weather plus RCF, then don't take transmitting blind call. The call to take is pan pan, pan pan, pan pan, all aircraft in the vicinity, and then to be continued. So much so now to clear your confusions. This call, what is this call? You will say, such calls are made when RCF exists and it becomes unsafe for pilot to fly as per flight plan, and where a standard or calculated deviation is required to help keep aircraft safe. I could not have given this to you in a more direct language. Please do not take it for granted. Nitin, Ashwini, focus more on the instructions. Pooja, focus more on the instructions first. You'll have to ensure that you focus on the instructions. Carefully understand what I'm saying, and then tell me whether you have understood it or not. If you cannot tell me now, what will you do? If you cannot tell me now, what do you do? Because sometimes sir just keeps talking, right? Doesn't give you a chance to speak. Then what do you do? The doubt will come to your mind, right? Quickly, please remember this. It is very important. This is corporate level of training. I don't know why people don't take it seriously. You're getting so much for so less. Forget parking lot, we'll call it parking bay. Okay. See, parking bay. What is the date today? Date today is 21st September. I'll write 21st September here, over here. See, I'll write 21st September over here, and I'll write all my doubts here, which I've discussed or not discussed with sir. So that in the next class, you could discuss those with me, or at least before the end of your exams or end of your training, you could discuss those with me. And after every session, you have to send me a picture of your notes and a picture of your parking lot. I hardly get a parking lot. So I don't know why you're not sending me parking bay. But it's good that if you do this, it's compulsory. Okay. And apart from this, all park your doubts over WhatsApp also. And don't delete our WhatsApp history. Okay. Please, at least mine and yours, please. Right now, it's keeping my follow-ups with my students very easy. Until and unless our application is excellently developed, we are going to use this universal best apps to communicate. We are trying to develop our apps, but it's not coming out the way I want, and money is just going in. So we have stopped it so that we can focus on training. So make sure you do that. Any more questions before we wrap up, students? We are wrapping up now. All those students who could not practice, I'm sorry, but the time is gone. Fight for it and practice, but don't, because tomorrow again when the class starts, you have to do it as a mandatory call. If you don't do it, then you'll have to waste time with me 10-15 minutes more on a pravachan that follow instructions, and I don't want to waste time. So make sure today whatever you have learned, you work out according to that, so that we can have a very happy and a productive experience in all our training sessions. That's what I believe in. Got it, everyone, students? Any questions? Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor. Any questions, any doubts, any feedback? Now is the chance to give. Quick.
They're all clear. Victor Tango Romeo Bravo Victor.
Victor Tango November India Tango. Same question. Any questions, any doubts, feedback?
Negative, sir.
Students, learn to end with your call sign. Nitin, come on, try to remember. Very good. It's okay.
Victor
Be very
Tango November
conscious.
India.
Very good. Be very conscious. Very nice. Victor Tango Romeo, correction. Victor Tango Lima Romeo Charlie. Any questions, doubts, feedback?
Negative, sir. Victor Tango Lima Romeo Charlie.
Very good, Vignesh. Sahana, go ahead.
So while going through the notes that you had sent about the intercepted aircraft and intercepting aircraft, it says like what I understood was if I'm being intercepted, then I'll have to make a call to the intercepting aircraft on 121.5. And whenever it is possible, I'll have to call the appropriate ATC controller and I'll have to inform about that. Would that be a mayday call or pan call, or just a normal call that have been intercepted, and like what it has to be?
When you are intercepted by a threat, it means you have entered an airspace which you are not supposed to enter.
Okay.
So in such situations, the fighter jets, the defense, that is, they are allowed, if they think that the aircraft is possessing a threat to national security, then they have the permission to shoot you down through missile. Okay. But they would not do that directly. They would first do a recce, and the recce is done by flying on your left, on your right, and in the line of your cockpit, and that is called intercepting. And how do they intercept? Let's assume this is the fighter jet. Then they will rock their wings like this. This is the basic way. So if this is me, they will come either on my right or left, and they will do this. It means I have been intercepted. So this is the interceptor, and this is the intercepted aircraft, which is you. This is a mayday call when you are making it to your ATC. Let's assume you're flying over Delhi airspace, and that is a very national security wise, that's a very sensitive airspace, because this side we have Lucknow airspace controlled by Air Force. This side we have Jaipur border, like Rajasthan border with Pakistan. So we see a very small narrow pathway that goes for Delhi, and rest everything is very sensitive with terms to security. So if that happens, if you want to communicate to this aircraft to tell them that, oh, I don't know what happened and how did I enter my this airspace, I'm so sorry. I'm just an Indian pilot or Indian national carrier carrying Indian passengers on board. Secure check is clear, and I'm just going from Mumbai to Kolkata, Mumbai to Delhi. I don't know what happened. When the aircraft is doing this, this is what you're going to say in RT. Okay. When you're talking, if you want to talk to interceptor, then you will communicate on 1 to 1.5, because they will be tuned to that emergency frequency only. And when the aircraft is rocking, you are by default required to follow that aircraft wherever they are taking you. They will take you and they will make you land somewhere, and then they will have a big team of security forces and big alert and bomb squad and everything. And then one by one, they will have the procedure. It could take hours and hours to figure out whether you are genuinely what you are saying, or you are someone under the control of a terrorist, or maybe you are just a pilot with wrong intentions. So your human factor training, your history, your family, and everything would be searched. It's a very, very critical issue. If it is such a critical issue where if you don't respond, you can be shot down, it means it's a direct threat to your flight. It's a mayday call. Whom will you make the mayday call to? To your original ATC. So if you're in Delhi airspace, we'll assume you would have spoken to Delhi control. So first you would talk to interceptor aircraft, maybe or maybe not, or simply follow. In the RT exam, you'll get this question once in a while, every time. What will you say? Mayday, mayday, mayday. Delhi control, Air India 909er. Inadvertently have entered prohibited area, have been intercepted by fighter jet. Following fighter jet, we are all Indian crew with all Indian passengers on board. Security check cleared. IFR Mumbai to Delhi, departed Mumbai 1300, flight level 230, radial 145, DME 100, outbound Jaipur. I say again, following interceptor, request further instructions. Got it, Sana?
Affirm, sir. Got it.
I
And
hope,
sir,
I hope everybody followed it, students. Please, Sana, go ahead.
about the information like about restricted area, dangerous area, like when will they be active and like about what time and all, will that be only given in the NOTAMs, or is there any other chart that we could like refer to know about what time and what altitude they will be, restrictions or danger area?
So see, ideally when you're issued a flight plan, you stick to the routes, stick to whatever given is in the flight plan, and you need not worry about anything else. So that is one way of ensuring that you don't get into a prohibited area or a danger area. Okay. Second thing, always when you look at charts for your proposed flight plan or your approved flight plan also, that chart would clearly indicate where danger area is and prohibited area is, even though if you don't want, the information is always available in the cockpit. So that is the next way to see if in case you want to deviate on your own, you just check the chart and see which area has danger or prohibited, so that you don't deviate to that side, but you try to deviate in between so that you're not entering that. So that is the second way you will get to know. The third way, let's say if these two things are there, but over and above, a new airspace has been included as a restricted or a prohibited area for you not to fly, maybe for a month, maybe 2 months, for just a day, that information will be given to you through NOTAMs. Okay, those are three ways which you will be informed about your not getting into danger area or a prohibited area. Even after doing everything, still you come across an interceptor intercepting you. You don't know what happened. Maybe you just got drifted, or maybe the flight plan filed was not correctly, or maybe you were not updated about the NOTAM. We don't know. But this is how the call would be in that case also. If whether you have genuinely made a mistake or you have not made a mistake, somebody else has made it, but you're just following the flight plan or instructions, still this is how the call you're going to take. Got it?
Affirm, sir.
Very good. So the last part, what you said, will come through NOTAMs only, nothing else.
Okay.
That would be temporary restriction, could be long time, could be short time. Other than that, prefixed danger prohibited areas are already there. So your flight dispatchers, whoever is approving or submitting a flight plan, it's their task. For you as a student pilot or a basic CPL, not an airline pilot, you should know how to do this. So whenever you are charting out your flight plan, although DGCA navigation syllabus doesn't make it compulsory, that's why we don't teach you all. But anytime, whenever you want to learn after your exams are over, let me know. It's a very good thing, you know. If you are able to do that, then all you need is a plane license, and you can just do everything on your own and fly. That's called general flying. It's very famous in Europe, America, Australia, England. Very soon, I think next 50 years or 30 years, it will happen in India also, because you all will become seniors and your children would become smart people. So that's how it's going to be, you know. I'm not saying you all will have children, it's your choice, but still, I hope you understand how and when that aviation would develop. So by the time when I'm probably by then, whatever my age would be, I think I would be an expert in the field, right? And of course, you will see that probably I'm dead, or maybe I've written a lot of books for you, something like that. But then I know that if I'm alive, then of course I'll be flying my own planes in India easily without the added cost of parking and all, because general flying otherwise in India can become very expensive because of these costs. Abroad, you can park the plane in your backyard also. You can take off from your backyard also if it's the plane is fit to take off from your backyard. So yeah, all these things are going to happen everywhere because ICAO is doing it. So it will happen in India also. Anyway, Sahana, any more questions? Put it in the parking lot. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel. Any questions? Any doubts? Feedback?
Negative, sir. Victor Tangle Hotel.
इतने घाई में क्यों भैया? कहाँ जाना है? आराम से लो कॉल. कब से बोल रहा हूँ आराम से लो कॉल. Again, do it again, Ashwin.
Negative, sir. Victor Tango Alpha Sierra Hotel.
Good try. Still too fast. Good try. Jyotsna, doubts, questions, feedback. Jyotsna, read you
Negative,
one. Say
sir.
again. Okay.
Negative, sir. Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar.
Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar. Read you 3. Say again.
Negative, sir. No doubt. Victor Tango Juliet Yankee Oscar.
See, students, when we are not writing, we can speak fast. This is what real ATC environment is all about, pilots. And this is what probably some of you all have seen in recordings videos. But this is not how we can do in RT exam. But that's why I say right. But right now, because we're just doing question answer, we can simulate that also. That's why we are fast. So here you can be fast, but you don't be fast. You be slow. You just make sure no matter what you're practicing, you have that good rate of speech. Very good, Jostra. Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike. Doubts, questions, feedback.
Negative, sir. Doubts discussed. Victor Tango Sierra Sierra Mike.
Very good reply. I liked how you proactively said doubts discussed. But students, when I'm asking for feedback and you're saying negative, does that mean it's a negative feedback?
Negative. No, sir. It's not the negative feedback.
Because everyone is saying that. Bhavin, Nitin, Vignesh, Ashwani, Jyotsna also. So see, in RT, it could, in aviation, something like this could leave a room for miscommunication because you're not clearly giving the answer. You can say, so what would you say ideally? You'd say feedback positive or feedback negative, like this. So that makes me understand that, oh, you have understood the session or you have not understood the session. So be very clear. It's just a little extra. I mean, what you're doing is not wrong, but I can understand the feedback is negative. That could also be an assumption. If not me, then somebody else could assume that. So ensure that your replies are very to the point. I liked how Suchita differentiated her answer and said doubts discussed. So come on, students, be a little more creative. Rest of the students, okay? Victor Tango Romeo India Mike. Questions, doubts, feedback.
No questions, sirs. No doubt. And understood everything. Victor Tango Romeo India Mike.
How about the feedback? See, you missed one acknowledgement. Listening skills, students, come on.
Yes, sir. I understood everything.
Feedback. We need the word feedback.
I'm not getting it.
Feedback बोला है तो feedback आपको भी बोलना है.
Feedback.
और क्या है feedback? Positive, negative?
Positive, sir.
हाँ, बस feedback. No questions, no doubts. Doubts cleared, questions cleared. Feedback negative, feedback positive. Victor Tango Romeo India Mike. आई बात समझ में सबको? Has everyone understood it? Manvir, go ahead. Any questions, any doubts, feedback?
Yes, sir. Till now, everything is okay, but I'm unfamiliar with two, three terms that is RVSM and that like RCF. Will we cover these things later
No, no,
or?
Baba. Wait. Why later? RCF तो बताया ना आपको? क्या होता है RCF?
Yes, I know what RCF, but RVSM and that.
You said two things. RCF तो
Yeah,
पता है क्या है full form
yeah,
RCF तो बताओ. What's
that
the full
is
form for RCF?
radio communication failure.
When our communication has failed like this. Okay, what's wrong? Sorry.
No, sir, it's mute.
That was RCF. You are supposed to listen to me. You cannot hear me. That is RCF. Simple. Radio communication failure. And RVSM, just to feed your curiosity taste buds, reduced vertical separation minima. Okay, this much is enough. Later we'll cover all the specific points. Manvir, something, keep it with you. Any other doubts, Manvir?
Yes, sir. One more doubt is this. So this readability check means when we do this readability check at very first, means
The moment
while
you sit in the cockpit as a pilot, and you know you have to fly the airplane somewhere, and you have done a walk around. There is something called a walk around. The pilot would. After the walk around that you have done, you will sit in the cockpit and you will be prepared to do pre-flight checks. Before you are doing pre-flight checks, one of the pre-flight check is a pre-flight radio check. So you have to check your readability on the radio also. It's one of the important checks. If you miss one of the checks, then you have failed the company as a pilot. Before you start with this pre-flight checks also, once you get into the aircraft, you just simply tune in to the ground or tower, whichever ATC is available and required for you. Simply do a readability check to see if everything is proper. If it is not proper, if you try twice and you get readability 3 or 2, then you will call in your engineer and you'll tell your engineer that, yeah, I don't think I'm getting proper reception. I tried it twice. Can you fix it? Until then, as the engineer is fixing it, you would do other pre-flight checks. And then once the engineer has fixed it, you will do the pre-flight check, not the pre-flight, the readability check again. So other pre-flight checks would be checking your control surfaces, checking your CBs, checking your warning lights, checking your fire warning lights, and so much. In aviation RT, the pre-flight check is only a communication check. That's why students get confused. The radio check is a part of the ultimate 10 to 15 pointer checklist. One of them is radio check. In RT, we do that. Readability check we do before we do any check to establish a proper 5 or 4 over the ATC network. So our readability check, you will do the first thing on your own just to check if the transmission is fine. After that, if you do pre-flight check, in that, if you don't get proper reception, again, you will do the same thing. Even if one of the check fails in your pre-flight checks, you will not be fit to fly. So you'll have to call engineers and there'll be a technical delay. Are you understanding all this?
Yes. Yeah.
Any more questions, Manvir?
Yes, so one more doubt is there regarding the
पहले भी
registration
वन बोला, अभी भी वन बोला. ये क्या एक साथ लिख के रखने का ना सब कुछ? वन करके नहीं आगे जाने का. But it's okay. Take your time. Tell me.
It's about the Q codes that you told about QRM interference, and there are some Q codes in meteorology also, I think. So that are also included in this, means we can name the registration marking with that also.
Where is registration marking and Q code coming in picture? No, all Q codes I said. QRM was one example for a Q code. There are hundreds of Q codes. There is a Q code for everything. So those Q codes should not be similar, or your aircraft registration marking should not be similar to those Q codes.
Yes.
Not just QRM, every Q code. The metrology ones also and others also. So like there is a metrology Q code QFE, then aircraft should not have a registration Victor Tango Quebec Foxtrot Echo. Not because it matches with the Q code. So yeah. Got it?
Yes.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Tell me,
perfect.
which is your one more question? Tell me that. I know you have one more.
No, no, sir. Yeah.
No, don't be
There were three.
shy. No,
No,
tell me.
really. That all were the questions regarding this
Fine,
lecture.
no problem, no problem. I'm just playing with you. It's okay.
Yeah,
I'm happy
no.
that you're smiling. Very nice. Papa Kilo Mike, question, doubt, feedback.
Negative question, negative doubt, and positive feedback.
Thank you. And who's calling?
Victor Tango Papa Kilo Mike.
अब सीनियर्स ही ऐसा करेंगे तो आगे कैसे चलेंगे? Make sure, Pooja, you remember ending with your call sign. Sahana, once again, questions, doubts, feedback.
Negative doubts and doubts are all cleared, and feedback positive. Victor Tango Mike Echo Delta.
See, thinking and speaking, I like it. I can see that Sahana is all set to make her own calls. Very nice. Keep it up. That's all it takes. Even if you don't mug up any fixed call, just understand. And still, if you have this ability of thinking and calling, then 15 days, 10 days are enough for someone like you. But still, good job. Very nice, Sahana. Gulshan, Victor Tango Golf Sierra November. Questions, doubts, feedback.
No questions, sir. No doubt. Positive feedback. Victor Tango, Gold Sierra November.
Wonderful reply, Gulshan. I think everyone is getting it. It's going to really help you in your calls. Keep it up. Victor Tango, Sierra Bravo, Romeo. Why do I have a feeling that you bunked that lecture because you didn't like the instructor who came in the class and now you're attending this?
Negative, sir. Negative, sir. Sir, class the cancel because he was unable to come to college.
Who was not able to come to college?
Our professor.
Oh, wow. How lucky. Good. Very nice. So any
Doubts,
questions, any doubts and feedback?
Doubts negative, all doubts clear. Feedback positive. Victor Tango, Sierra Bravo Romeo.
Okay, thank you very much. Piyush, whenever you're finishing this part, drop me a message as if you're giving me a live answer, or maybe just send me a voice note. Okay, students, sorry for extending, but I'm very sorry. But on that note, I want to tell you all, whoever is there for navigation, I want you all to use this time to prepare for your upcoming exams, be it RT and be it other papers that you're giving. So I don't think I'm having the strength to take this nav class right now, but don't worry, you study and discuss your doubts, whatever there are. Jyotsna, you can study for MET. Rishi, you can study for RT. Other students, Suchita, let me know if there's something that you're left over up, right? And discuss that with me. If you don't have anything and if you need me to give you a task, then I'll give that to you. Sana, you can just prepare and revise for RT. Gulshan, let me know if you need anything else. If there's nothing much left for you to cover up. If yes, then cover up. The same applies to everyone, okay? All right, students. So I'm just giving you a heads up that the rest of the time is free so that you don't have to rush to join in 12 o'clock class. That being said, students, this organic teaching will really help you take good calls, not depend on question papers, but only your knowledge. That being said, I'm also going to give you fixed calls that you can use in your exams as a, like exactly as I give you all. The choice is yours, but the requirement would be that it should be very coming from your intellectual mind and not a mugged up something that you are mugged up in your head. Okay, take it easy. I'm going to finish sooner than you need your training. But if you don't do as I'm telling you all, the revisions and assignments and all that you'll see come up, then the formula might not work. And then you might not clear. So be prepared for that also. Okay. I'm very happy to see that everyone is saying positive about everything. But still, after the class, if you come across something that you didn't want to speak out loud in front of public because you respect me, let me know over WhatsApp, whatever negative feedback you have in your mind. I'll make sure the conversation is confidential. And if you're thinking, sir, you'll share our bad stories with the class, then don't worry. I will do it only seldom, only for you all to understand that you all don't get into that. But I'll never take names. So y'all don't worry about that, okay? If you need anything else, just drop me a message. I might take a little time to reply. Don't panic. I already read your messages. And if I think the response could be a little delayed from my side as an instructor, only then I'll delay. So you trust me in that. Do not feel ignored. Do not say, sir, मैंने इतना पैसा दिया blindly आपको कि आप ऐसा कर रहे हो. तुमको बोला है रिवाइज करो, एक बार हो गया है तो दूसरी बार करो. उतना हो गया है तो मैं आपको और भी बैकअप के लिए रिकॉर्डिंग्स दे रहा हूँ पढ़ने के लिए. वो करो अच्छे से. टाइम कम है, जितना करोगे उतना अच्छा होगा. After that, if you have any other concern, openly share with me in a positive note that, sir, I have these issues. I want you to improve this in the class. I'll say, definitely, man. You're my customer. Customer service and satisfaction is the biggest thing, right? In the end, I do that also. Okay. So make sure you're openly expressing everything as soon as you can with me so that I can take actions and give you what you need. That being said, thank you for staying with me for extra hour. That motivates me to give you extra time. And please, if possible, wish for a speedy recovery. If you all know, every month I'm falling sick again and again. So I'll need that from you. And make sure every day in the morning as you wake up, you manifest your success in your exams by imagining that, yeah, I have cleared it. Today I have learned and I've cleared my paper. I've cleared my paper. I have my RT license. I'm so proud. Everyone is so proud. Finally, one more step crossed, one more step to go, one more step closer to the goal. All this, if you feel in yourself, then the luck factor comes into play. And the exams, even though if you are not completely prepared, but 80% prepared, you will see the questions are with what you have prepared. And that helps you clear in your first attempt. But I need that belief. If you are not a positive person, at least for RT, you have to be a positive person. It's a request from my side. Please be so, do so. And if you're facing challenges, let me know. I have thousands of strategies in thousands of wide varieties of field to help you all achieve your one goal. So let me know extra. Okay. Signing off, students. I'm shivering right now. I think I need to lay down for a bit, but I'll see you tomorrow, same time. And make sure the moment you join, you will start with your readability checks. If you're getting no response, you will write no response in your log. You'll raise the station again. Still, if I'm not responding, you'll just write no response and wait. Or you could just do a transmitting blind call also. And the moment you finish your calls, quickly you have to send me your logs. Remember that. End of the session, I need a picture of your parking lot, whether you have doubts or not. Whether you have written in your parking lot the doubts, like Manvir would have written 3 doubts, and if they are cleared, he'll cross them out. Even that is allowed. I need to see the pictures. All right. I'm going to have quite some time laying down on the bunk bed for me. I'm going to read all your notes right now. So don't think I'm not going to read. Got it, students? All the best. You will do well. I believe in you all. I'm not going to cut off any one of you all, even if you're rude or making mistakes. Just make sure you are aware of your progress. And you discuss that with me nicely in a gentle way. Okay? All expectations set. If you have any more, let me know. And this is it. Taking a leave, okay? Bye, everyone.
Bye, sir.
Have a great day, sir. Thank you. Take care.
Most welcome, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.